means with one voice. And when it comes to BBYO, their community, and their family, Estee and Elliott Portnoy speak with one voice. They both claim that they are the leaders they are today because of BBYO. That, of course, is a powerful statement about BBYO's ability to develop leaders.
Professionally, Estee and Elliott are leaders in their respective fields. As volunteers and philanthropists, they've built the Keen organization, Kids Enjoying Exercise Now, in the United States, which has trained more than 40,000 volunteers to work with kids with disabilities. Of course, we all know that they consider their greatest accomplishment to be their 3 amazing kids, Josh, Noah, and Danny. For those of you who know the family well, you know how quick Estee and Elliott are to open their homes for BBYO events, the Jewish holidays, and anything else that gives them a chance to share what they have with those around them.
Of course, we also learned tonight that Estee and Elliott are also the ultimate BBYO beau and sweetheart, and a true expression of Jewish continuity. BBYO brought them together at a dance in 1980, and the rest is history, theirs and ours. Having both served leadership roles in BBYO as teens, Estee revisited that post, taking what she learned as the Allegheny Region Nicaea about Robert's Rules, parliamentary procedure, and organizational leadership, to serve as the chair of BBYO's board of directors. Her 4-year tenure was a time of unprecedented growth for BBYO.
Estee and Elliott, thank you for living out all the hopes of all of our parents, that we'll meet a nice Jewish boy or girl in BBYO. Thank you for setting a high bar with leadership, what leadership means, and for that which we should all strive to accomplish in life. Because of this, it is our great honor to present you with the 2014 Kol Echad Service Award.
Good evening and thank you. Elliot and I first of all want to congratulate Stuart Kurlander on his well-deserved honor. Stuart, you live the values that are at the heart of BBYO. You inspire so many in this room and in our community, and congratulations on your honor. I also want to thank our friends and colleagues who are here tonight. We really appreciate your generosity and support of an organization that means so much to us, so thank you for being here. I also need to call out the board of directors. I have been so honored to serve as the chair of the board for the last 4 years, and so many of the officers, committee chairs, people like Mark Saperstein, Rob Ruby, Walter Solomon, Judith Feiner-Friedman, Ruth Sussman, Rachel Gabaides, Phyllis Tabachnik, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, Stacy Schusterman, and Lisa Eisen. You all have been incredible, so thank you so much to the board. I also want to thank the BBYO's previous chairs, as mentioned earlier. Howard, your leadership and mentoring has been incredible, and Lynn Schusterman, I can't say enough about what a role model you've been to me and to so many other Jewish people. You are such a visionary, and you have done so much in the Jewish world. Thank you.
Estee and I want to thank our friends Ann Slaughter Andrew and Joe Andrew for co-chairing tonight's dinner. Joe and Ann didn't meet at BBYO like we did, but their public service. Joe is national chair of the Democratic National Committee. Ann is our U.S. ambassador to Costa Rica. Certainly lead me to believe that if there were ever to be 2 honorary AZA and BBG members who live the lives that really reflect the values of BBYO, it would be Joe and Ann. Thank you for co-chairing tonight's dinner.
And a last but most important thank you to our family who are here, Elliot's mom, my sister, brother-in-law, my niece, and of course my 3 children who have been previously mentioned. Josh, who is Sagan, or vice president of Melech AZA, Noah, who's one of the newest members of Melech AZA, and of course a future BBG girl, Danny. So thank you.
Not here tonight is our nephew Benjamin. Benjamin is 5 years old and he's in kindergarten. And it's a little late for him to be out partying with his future brother Olives, as I think you'll appreciate. But kindergarten's actually where we want to start some brief remarks tonight. I know that'll sound a little unusual, but 25 years ago, if you would have turned to the New York Times bestseller list, you would have found topping the chart a book that was called...
No, go back.
I'm usually pretty good with PowerPoint, not tonight. A book that was called All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. It was a really simple book. It sat on the bestseller list for about 52 weeks at that time, and its message spread like wildfire, focusing on the rules of life learned in kindergarten. Rules like play fair, take a nap every afternoon, hold hands when in traffic. But tonight, Estee and I want to spend a couple of minutes sharing with you our rules of life. All we really need to know we learned in BBYO.
And really, it's all there. The lessons we learned in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, and Morgantown, West Virginia. Lessons that have infused our lives with meaning, enhanced our personal and professional life, and lessons that have reminded us what really matters. So without further ado, all that we need to know in life we learned not in kindergarten, but in BBYO. You start.
Rule number 1. Share everything. Kindergartners learn to share toys. We all know that. But BBYO taught us to share not just toys, but all the gifts that we've received in life through tzedakah. Tzedakah is about more than just giving money. It's about generosity and righteousness and about treating those in need with dignity. As teens, Estee and I learned and were taught through BBYO that our fundamental obligation was to give back, to share everything, just as we saw our parents giving back even when they didn't always have the resources to do so.
Number 2 is play fair. For 90 years, BBYO has been all about inclusion and pluralism. Where other groups see differences as a source of tension, BBYO regards these as great strengths to be nurtured. As my fellow Wexner cohort will know, for BBYO, it doesn't matter where you go to shul, whether you're Orthodox, conservative, Reform, it doesn't matter. Everyone is welcome in BBYO, and everyone belongs. Elliot and I learned about diversity, tolerance, and acceptance at BBYO, and there is much we as adults could learn from the values in dropping labels and focusing on people and values.
Rule number 3, don't hit, or at least don't hit people. In life, getting people to do what you want requires leadership and communication skills. Learning how to convince someone to do that which you want them to do without hitting them over the head with a truck is an important life skill learned in kindergarten and learned in BBYO. BBYO trains young leaders and taught Estee and I how to run a chapter meeting, how to set an agenda, how to balance a checking account, how to speak in public. Lessons that we try to apply in our professionals' lives and lessons that clearly Estee paid close attention to. Me, not so much, as my partners will attest. But then again, if you had to lead 3,000 partners and lawyers to march in the same direction, you might be prone to a little violence as well.
By the way, dessert is being served. I love it. Number 4, put things back where you found them. Returning things to where they belong is about tradition. And BBYO for 90 years has helped Jewish teens tap into traditions and values and change lives. Spend an evening at a BBYO event, anywhere in the world. You will see cheers, laughter, pulsating energy, and even some tears. BBYO harvests those emotions, and they make us stronger and remind us in our adult lives more laughter and even a few tears bring us back to where we belong.
Rule number 5, clean up your own mess. It's about taking responsibility. As teens, we were taught through BBYO that a fundamental obligation was to pursue tikkun olam, repairing the world. In the 80s, we led campaigns to help Russian Jewish refuseniks escape from Russia. For 90 years, BBYO has worked to repair the world and make communities a better place through helping alleviate hunger, bullying, and homelessness. We work to clean up our own messes and those that are created by others.
Number 6, wash your hands before you eat.
Come on. Really?
I told you there's a surprise in here. I threw that in here because I tell the kids and him all the time and they never listen. And I thought if I told it in front of the whole crowd, that I make a point. And, my view is, darling, that, it may be a long time from kindergarten or BBYO, but it's not too late to start learning
All
these
right,
lessons.
let's keep going. I hope I have rule number 7, warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. And I know what you're thinking, this one's probably a little bit of a stretch, but BBYO serves up those cookies and milk to young people when they need it the most. Let's face it, high school can be a tough time for a lot of teens. Issues of self-esteem, self-image, bullying, pressures of school, the temptation of drugs and alcohol. BBYO attracts teens just when those challenges are at their peak and provides a place where everyone is valued and welcome. Provides a place where they can build lasting friendships, make a difference, and be themselves. For them, BBYO really is warm cookies and cold milk, just as it really was for Estee. Estee grew up in a small town where she was bullied for her religion. Her parents, a Holocaust survivor and an immigrant from Israel, knew how important BBYO was for Estee's identity. They would have been hugely proud to be here, and in fact, they are here in spirit, and Estee's mom, Yafa, wants one of those centerpieces to take home with her, or maybe some extra dessert. We look around the room, and we see friends we literally carpooled with 30 years ago in Uniontown and Pittsburgh. And their presence in our lives 30 years later is an incredible blessing made possible by BBYO. Multiply that experience by 250,000 alumni, it's a lot of cookies, but a lot of lives changed.
Number 8, when you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Holding hands and sticking together in a dangerous world is something we learned in BBYO about the state of Israel. Some people say leave Israel to the Israelis. But for us, most of us, our first exposure to Israel came in BBYO. We learned about the challenges modern Israel faces and why it's our responsibility to learn about, appreciate, and advocate for Israel. Giving unequivocal support for Israel is not always easy, but BBYO taught us to love Israel for what it stands for: a beacon of democracy, human rights, opportunities, inclusion, and hope in a region filled with hatred and violence. Now more than ever, we need to hold hands and stick together for Israel.
Rule number 9, be aware of wonder. See a little bit of detail on that wonder. BBYO helped us to become aware of wonder, the wonder of being Jewish, the values, the meaning, and the obligations. Last year's Pew study revealed some alarming trends about Jews in America. BBYO's approach has never been more important, as it delivers all the ingredients necessary to reverse those troubling trends in Jewish communal engagement, in intermarriage, and in Jews' attachment to the state of Israel. The wonder of BBYO, one teen at a time, is helping to turn around that which challenges our community the most.
And number 10, flush. Okay, that probably one doesn't need to be there, but although Danny and I were wishing that Josh Noah and Daddy would put the seat down after they flush. But seriously, actually, I have another number 10, and this one goes out to the back of the room, to the teens in the audience. Really, really important, probably the most important one of all. Remember that the girl, or boy in my case, you kiss at your first BBYO event might just end up as your spouse. Very important lesson, the best lesson of all. So that's it, pretty simple. All we really need to know in life we learned at BBYO. And for that, it is we who owe a debt of gratitude to BBYO, not the other way around. Our thanks to everyone for being here and for your incredible generosity. We are grateful to play a very small part in this effort and deeply appreciate your support for such a remarkable organization. Thank you.
And to conclude our program,